Hi, my name is Paula Guimarães. I am from the University of Lisbon, Portugal. I will be joining the winter school with Licínio Lima and Regina Gettenmeier. Different analysis approaches have been used to explain the complexity of the social world. From this, the levels of analysis approach has to be stressed due to its relevance in several sciences, such as physics, philosophy, but also social sciences and policy studies. The levels of analysis approach represent an alternative discussion to the atomistic approach that values an in-depth discussion upon one single social process without giving much relevance to other existing processes, considered as intentional actions. It is also different from the holistic approach that considers the whole for explaining social processes without giving much attention to the specificities of each social process. When studying a public policy on adult education and lifelong learning, it might be relevant to consider an analytical tool, the multi-level analysis. The multi-level analysis approach includes a distinction between three different sets of causal processes, including different levels of organization and levels of complexity. There can be found consequential interactions among processes operating at different levels of organization, such as the individual level, the micro level, including, for instance, a situated event in a single moment involving one individual, the social organizational level, the meso level, including, for instance, a situated event occurring in a social organization that might last for a longer time, involving people connected to a specific social organization, and the institutional level, the macro level, including, for instance, a situation occurring for a long time and in different places at the same time, connecting many individuals, organizations, and institutions. When considering the individual level, the micro level, this level includes processes that are at first biological and psychological in origin, such as fear, anxiety, hunger, expectations, motivations, behavior, but also processes that can be organizationally connected with personality formation, processes of interaction within small groups or within very little social organization. This level includes two processes of organizationally rudimentary exchange relation, simple group dynamics, collective behavior, such as crowd dynamics, and simple forms. By this, I mean individual-based, of strategic interaction. Research in this case is very much focused on individual, local interpretation of processes, on unit of subunit of analysis. The social organizational level, the meso level, includes processes originated by causal influences attributed to short-dimension social units, one or some organizations, enterprises, communities, clubs, clans, tribes, villages, towns. The level of formalization of process is higher than the individual level processes. Research in this case is very much focused on individual local interpretation of processes linked to institutional, larger than individual scale reproduction. The institutional level, the mega, or also the macro level, this level includes processes originated by causal influences attributed to structural trends, namely to constraints provided by social structure. Less attention is paid to individual personality of the actorhood. Much attention is paid to formalized, normalized, and complex social processes happening in society and or in a nation. This level of analysis, it is considered that institutions, such as the church, the nation state, the monetary system, the legal system, the scientific community, are based on the reproduction of routines, rules, roles and meanings, as well as on structures of authority and responsibility, often integrated into control systems, lying on cultural models, giving meanings to social action, built into systems of thought and analysis, such as legal models, political models, religious models, knowledge systems, professional discourses. When using these different levels of organization, the micro, the meso, and the macro or mega, you may please consider the variety of institutional and individual actors that can play a relevant role. If you consider an adult education and lifelong learning policy from your own country, please pay attention when choosing national policies to be debated during the first week by considering what is the role of international organizations having the definition, implementation and evaluation of adult education and lifelong learning policies, and we are considering the mega level. What is the role of the state, of regional state, public departments at the macro level in this policy? What are the aims of such policies at the macro level? What are the target groups and which institutions establishes these target groups at the macro or meso levels? What is the role of local promoters and how is funding distributed among local promoters at the meso level? How are adult education and lifelong learning programs conceived, developed and evaluated, in many occasions at the micro level? How do actors such as adult educators and adult learners understand this policy and the programs they are involved in at the micro level? I would like to call your attention upon the following. When choosing national policies to be debated during the first week, please consider the role international organizations have in the definition, implementation and evaluation of adult education and lifelong learning policies. International organizations such as the European Union, the OECD, the UNESCO, the World Bank. What is the role of the state? And when I mean state, I refer to public departments, ministries, public organizations in the definition, organization and evaluation of national policies and programs. And here I am referring to the definition of the legal structure, the legal documents that support these policies and the programs in adult education. What are the aims of such policies? What are the target groups and who establishes these target groups? In many occasions, these target groups can be established at a national or regional level, but also by local promoters at the meso level. How is funding distributed among local promoters? In many occasions at the macro or meso level. And how are adult education and lifelong learning programs conceived, developed and evaluated at the macro and meso level? How do local actors, such as adult educators and adult learners, understand the adult education and lifelong learning policy owing to their involvement in a specific program, for instance, at the meso level? Macro trends cannot only be explained by considering institutional level, but they need the micro and the meso levels to be considered, and vice versa, as macro trends can include different micro characteristics that are relevant, and micro trends can reflect micro dimensions. The purpose of such option is to make a clearer position to reproduction logics of analysis. Reinterpretation might happen by single actors, and to stress that a social action is influenced by several levels of analysis. I wish you the best work, and we will meet again during the first week of the winter school. See you soon!